Hi YouTube, how are you doing? And welcome to the biggest update in Phasmophobia history. In this video, I'm gonna go over all of the patch notes. Now, we've been given these patch notes one day ahead of time. The actual update will be in pretty much exactly 24 hours from the moment I'm posting this video, so we can get hyped. I mean, I've been hyped for so long. Finally, we got this update. So let's dive into all the patch notes. If you just want to read them for some reason without me talking, I'll quickly scroll through them. You can pause the video. I can't send you this file. This is just purely for the content creators, and they're also work in progress, so they might change. But anyway, if you don't know this update, it is the big progression as well as equipment update. The progression system is completely changing, and every single item in the game that exists right now is getting 2 additional versions. So they're basically adding 40 new items to the game, which is absolutely crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna go over all of this. Let's go. Ascension major update version 0.9. We are getting closer and closer to 1.0. Progression 2.0, upgraded equipment, and much, much more. Welcome back. We've got an update for you. It is finally here, the grand update for the new progression system and equipment here. Progression. A new leveling system has been added with new rates of progression, new unlocks, and a prestige system. For the system to function, all current players have been reset to Prestige 1, Level 1. This way you can continue to play with your unlocked difficulties and locations. Okay, so new players will start at Prestige 0. So once you reach Prestige 1, you keep all your unlocked difficulty, you keep your locations, but we're all gonna have no levels, no money, starting from scratch. I'm so excited. But you're also gonna get this Legacy Badge. Upon launching the game for the first time after updating, you will be presented with a new screen to choose a unique badge with options based on your pre-update levels. Once saved, this is uneditable, so choose carefully. I hate this. I'm gonna be so anxious choosing my one badge. 3 years of work goes into this one button press to save my new badge, and you can never edit that because you're gonna have a lot of choices between like different flares, different colors. Oh boy, this is gonna be stressful, but yeah, it's really cool though. Equipment, here we go. The meat and potatoes. Upgrades. Each equipment item now has 3 tiers. Tiers cost a large sum of money to unlock, but each tier will cost the same to bring into a contract. So what that means is it costs like $500, for example, I don't know how much, to unlock EMF tier 2, but then after that it costs the same to buy a tier 2 as it would cost to buy a tier 1, which is really good because that means that if you die with all tier 3 items, you're not going to lose like tens of thousands of Phasmo dollars or something. To upgrade a piece of equipment, reach the required level, go to the shop and press on any item's UI tile on the screen, then hit upgrade. Okay, there. So the shop screen is probably going to be very confusing at the start of this, but they're also planning, I don't think it's in this one yet, but they're planning to rework the shop UI very soon in the the update, like the 0.9.1 update. So that's going to hopefully solve a lot more. Renaming. Several names have been replaced to accommodate changes or for the new upgrade tiers, so that the word covers a broader spectrum. Oh yeah, fingerprints evidence has become ultraviolet. So what that means is that if you get footsteps, like get the ghost to step in the salt, it will also count as evidence. So both fingerprints and footsteps are now evidence. Let me just go over this before I start talking about specifics. Footsteps, photos, and descriptions have been changed to footprints. Candle has become firelight. Lighter has become igniter. Smudge sticks have become incense. Camcorder, video cam. I didn't even know it wasn't called video cam to begin with. Glow sticks and UV torches have become UV light. Sanity pills, sanity medication. I don't know, maybe that's something, some PG rating that they want to avoid or something. Head-mounted camera, headgear. Weak, strong flashlight have just become flashlight. Okay. Oh, because the flashlight obviously is going to have just the weak flashlight is just the tier 1, the stronger the tier 2, and then the super tier 3, I'm assuming. Okay, dots. Let's see. So I don't know how much detail they're going to cover here. I don't think they're going to cover it in much detail. Otherwise, these patch notes will be way longer. Dots. We felt that dots wasn't a very interactive evidence type, so we've completely refactored it from the ground up. Instead of being a clone of the ghost that gets spawned in and revealed with dots, the following will happen instead. You will no longer get duplicate dots ghosts or dots triggering during events, hunts, or other interactions. So what could happen constantly is that if the ghost was doing a ghost event, it could also do dots at the same time, which I didn't really care for, but obviously that doesn't make any sense, but the dots really didn't make any sense anyway. But the way it's going to work now, I'm assuming, ghosts with dots evidence can now enter a short dot state, similar probably to the salt, like when it does salt footsteps, where they are temporarily visible with infrared light. During this time, they will wander towards the nearest player before disappearing if the player is in the same room. So kind of similar to a ghost event. And which is also going to make it really hard to miss if you're in the same room, because you're obviously just going to have the ghost like walk right up to your face. I guess if you're looking the same way. Dots ghost photos now count as normal ghost photo. Okay, so if you have a dots ghost, getting the ghost photo is suddenly going to be way easier because you can just take a photo of the dots. Nice. No, banshees will try to roam towards their target instead. Wait, that's super interesting. Okay, I shouldn't go all over this too much. Tomorrow, by the way, if you are unfamiliar with how these updates works, tomorrow, as soon as the update goes live, I will be live over on Twitch streaming it literally all day. I will be doing the same thing on Friday, same thing on Saturday. So if at any point you want to see what the new update looks like, you can join us. Now, obviously, I'll also be posting videos during the stream as well on YouTube, but you're very welcome to join us and see everything live and see me discover all these things, because right here, I'm thinking that's a super cool new test, right? You'll have a player in the ghost room and then another player, like the target, you think, outside of the ghost room, and then you can see, does the dots wander out of the room or does it just wander towards the player that's in the room? That could be a cool new Banshee test, but all that stuff is gonna be, there's gonna be so many things to figure out. I can't wait. Firelights and igniters. You can now turn off firelights by pressing the use button again while holding it. Firelights, what a weird name, by the way. Firelights now have a duration for their effects and no longer stop the sanity drain completely, with different amounts of sanity benefits per tier. Okay, huge nerf for the candle, because the candle was already, I didn't use it all the time, but it was arguably one of the strongest items in the game, because you could literally just hold a candle and prevent sanity drain completely. Now, it seems like they're even indicating that on the highest tier, it's not even going to stop all sanity drain, but the main nerf for a candle is like, it used to be that they lasted very short. They might last really long here, but you have to have like a lighter as well as a candle in your hand, which is 2 of your 3 inventory slots, and maybe you also want a flashlight, so it's like basically your entire inventory is just taken up by holding a candle to prevent your sanity. And it also obviously makes the ghost less active if you have high sanity, but that's interesting. Parabolic microphone. When using a parabolic microphone, you will now clearly hear all sounds you are aiming towards within range, while all other sounds will be muffled. So as you can see here, they're not really going into detail about each of the different tiers. We're going to have to discover that tomorrow. Now, I am scared that the Paramic will have received a big nerf by fixing some bugs related to it, but we're going to find that out tomorrow. Incense. The interval in which the ghost checks if an incense is active is now much smaller, making repelling the ghost much more consistent. That is huge. You know the problem. I still feel like they should change this, but the problem that was happening with smudge sticks is that if you smudge the ghost during a hunt, there's 6 seconds where it cannot kill you, unless it's a Moroi, in which case it's 12. But anyway, 6 seconds. And then if those 6 seconds are over, the ghost will start targeting you again. But depending on how lucky you are, there's like an additional 2 seconds after those 6 seconds are over where you cannot smudge the ghost again, which means you could die without anything you can do about it if you have another smudge stick. Now, hopefully this is gonna prevent that, but what I still think they should do instead is if you smudge twice, it shouldn't stack the effects. Like, it shouldn't, if you smudge the ghost twice, it should make it 12 seconds, but it should just like replenish the timer. If you smudge it at 5 seconds, it should just add another 6 seconds to the timer. I really don't know why they don't do that. It seems like such a more intuitive, such a much easier system. I really don't understand, and it wouldn't make it OP at all, because if you want to waste all of your like best items in the game, you want to waste all your smudge sticks during a single hunt, go ahead, I guess, but you're gonna be in trouble on the later hunts. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, salt and ultraviolet. Salt will now only reveal footprints if the ghost has ultraviolet evidence. Footprints will now share the same chance and duration as fingerprints. So this doesn't mean that ghosts that don't have UV light can't step in the salt, but it means that they don't leave the UV footprints after. Probably wraiths won't be able to step in this though, obviously, because of their like special ability. So footprints will now share the same chance and duration as fingerprints in the custom difficulty settings. Glow sticks can now be used again after they dim to shake and revitalize the light they produce. Interesting. So you can just use glow sticks multiple times, which glow sticks were already fairly good. So this is an even bigger glow stick buff. Thermometers and temperatures. Thermometers are now counted as a starter item alongside the other evidence items. The cold breath effect will now show at around 4 degrees Celsius and below, which means that if it is snowing or you don't have the breaker turned on, you might be seeing this freezing breath on rooms that aren't even the ghost room, nor is it going to mean that it will actually be a freezing ghost. So you will have to use the thermometer to find freezing temperatures at 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit or below. So yeah, you have to use the thermometer because the freezing, that's why it has become a starter item, because the freezing breath is no longer going to be enough for that. To receive a room temperature reading, you must now hold the use button for a short period. Tiers 2 and 3 only, okay? Room temperatures will now be much more consistent between players. Freezing ghosts can lower the temperature to -10. Non-freezing ghosts can lower it to 1. Okay, interesting. So it used to be that non-freezing ghosts could lower it to 0.1 even, but I guess it's going to be easier to tell if a ghost is freezing now using the thermo. Temperatures will now drop at 1/3 the current speed if the wait, what? Temperatures will now drop at 1/3 the current speed if the temperature is below the minimum weather temperature. Damn! So it's gonna be, that's a huge nerf for finding the ghost room with a thermo, because it's gonna mean that I guess the ghost room will still go faster, obviously, but it's gonna take way longer to figure out which is the ghost room and which is just any other room. Tripods and video cameras. That's kind of weird. I guess they didn't want, I guess because you can now get cold breath in the ghost room, it would be super OP if it would drop at the normal rate, because that would mean you just walk around until you see the freezing breath. Whoop, I found the ghost room. I guess that makes sense. I guess it makes sense. But it will also mean that thermos are now, like, if you started with a thermo, I'm sorry to say, but that is no longer going to be a thing anymore. You can't start with a thermo. I'm saying this purely from, like, guy who has just read the patch notes and thinks he's a master at the new update already, so take this with a grain of salt, obviously. Tripods and video cameras, max amount reduced to 4. CJ really does not want you to have 6. In every single weekly challenge, he always only adds 3 tripods and 3 cameras, and I'm like, why? But okay, apparently now it's 4, which doesn't matter at all. It's not like you need 6. Ghosts can now throw video cameras like other items. Ghosts can now rarely knock over tripods. Really cool. And the different tiers will make that more likely or less likely. Consumables. Some items are now, oh, what the, I just pressed spacebar. Consumables. Some items are now consumable. This means that if you use an item marked as consumable in the shop, you will have to purchase it again when you leave. Disabling lose items in custom difficulty will not consume items. Okay, cool. Crucifix. Wait. What? Crucifix? I mean, I guess the crucifix is a consumable, which I assume only, like, it only consumes once it gets used once by the ghost. Firelight 1 and 2, so the third one is not a consumable, which is kind of an investment then. Interesting. Igniter, all tiers, even the, like, Zippo lighter thingy is gonna be a consumable. That's kind of bullshit, honestly. I guess it still uses up the fuel, but I feel like that should be less. Incense, sure, whatever. Incense 1 and 2! So the third one is no longer a consumable? That's crazy. I mean, it depends on how good the incense is, right? Did it say anything about the incense? Oh, the interval, that's all. Salt, all tiers, obviously. Sanity medication, all tiers. Okay, I'm still really curious what that, like, adrenaline shot thing is gonna do. That you can see in the lobby right now. Okay, so all these items, if you use them, they are gone. I hope they, like, tweak. They probably tested with this quite a while, right? Because this means that now smudging the ghost and just wasting all your smudge sticks can be a very stupid thing to do if you want to make money, especially on the lower difficulties, because you don't get any insurance or something. Like, if you're playing on amateur mode, you're gonna be paying way much for this on, like, relatively to how much you earn than if you play on something like insanity mode or something, because you're gonna make way more money. Reward changes. Several rewards have had their values adjusted to feel more rewarding and encourage the completion of objectives. Rewards for all objectives, tasks, and the weekly challenges have been increased drastically. Finally, I don't know why the weekly challenge was only 100 and daily challenges were like 25 or something, so that's good. Any experience earned will now give you the same amount in dollars. That is a really nice change as well. It's going to make experience way more intuitive. So literally $1 equals 1 experience points. Rewards for collecting the bone will no longer be affected by the reward multiplier. Feels bad, so no more cheesing, going in on high difficulty and grabbing the bone and getting a ton of money. So yeah, I mean, whatever. I guess that was just a balancing issue. Training. The training mission has been replaced with a brand new experience. To access it, press the training button on the main menu. Sick! This version of training is set in a custom-built warehouse with different rooms to show the player how to use each item of evidence equipment, as well as give tips and tricks on how to play the game in a controlled environment. Very cool. I reviewed the training recently, and it got an F across the board. I mean, yes, it teaches you how to kind of use the evidence items, but really not much. And only, obviously, for, like, when you do the training right now, you just get a specific ghost, and only the evidence items for that specific ghost are even of any use. But if you want to test like a dots projector and see what that looks like, you have to do the training over and over again until you get a dots ghost, which is just so silly. And I'm going to assume that in this situation, you're going to be able to see all the evidence because it's not really like it's just a custom situation, right? So that's really nice. Cool stuff, especially with the console release coming late at the end of this month. This is going to be really nice for a bunch of new players that are going to be joining the game scene. Which, by the way, if you're new watching this, I can't wait to see you around and give you tips and just see what you're doing, because I love this game. I started playing this game 3 years ago, and those first like few months where I was learning were some of my like greatest memories in gaming. So I'm very glad that you get to experience this now as well. But anyway, Gamepad 2.0 added Gamepad UI button controls for the journal, voice recognition, text, and main menu screen. Replaced Gamepad UI navigation with a virtual on-screen cursor. Okay, so this is just like moving forward to the console release. So if there's any controller gamers out there, you can test it right now and maybe give them some feedback for the console release, because the console players are obviously going to only use a controller. Blocking players. You can now block other players. Blocking another player will keep them permanently muted until you unblock them. To block or unblock a player, press the block button on either their player card or the recent player page. I'm assuming this also blocks them from joining a lobby if you're the host. You can also unblock players by going to the blocked players tab in the pause menu. It doesn't say that. I feel like it 100% should do that if it doesn't already, because like that's, I mean, yes, muting them, but also getting them out of your lobby, right? I mean, not during a game, maybe. I feel like that also should be possible, like a vote kick or something. But anyway, new. This is a bunch of new stuff, by the way. Get ready. New. Upgraded the Unity engine for many performance improvements. Cool. Swapped from the Forward to Forward Plus renderer. Okay. With this, turning on multiple lights should no longer reduce your performance drastically. Nice. Added a help button to the equipment list to explain the new icons to the player. Clicking on any equipment panel in the shop or loadout pages will now open a new window displaying new information on buttons for upgrading. I see they're explaining the shop more. A small tier button has been added to the top left of each equipment item in the shop, which you can click to quickly cycle through unlocked upgrades. Okay, I see. So you can just check your different tiers. New gameplay descriptions and lore notes have been added to all equipment viewable on the upgrade screen. Little lore, I guess. Equipment with the consumable key feature will need to be rebought after used in a contract, which, again, used, hopefully, like, if the crucifix, taking it off the wall, counts as using it, no. Devs, no! That's not fair. That would be bullshit. We don't have to bring back all the other equipment. If the crucifix isn't used, it better not be used. Like, that's stupid. Like, it better only count once it's been used by the ghost at least once. You can now set a loadout to auto-buy. This will refill any missing items when finishing a mission, but only if you have the money to buy all the missing items, obviously. Added range indicators while placing to all ghostwriting book. Wait, what? Added range indicators while placing to all ghostwriting books and motion sensor tier 3. Wait, Only motion sensor 3. Interesting. Nice. So you have way more indication. That's really cool. The range indication on the book, because that's always kind of just a guess, been a guess for me. That's really cool. Added platform specific icons to the player cards in recent players page, so you can see which platform someone's playing on. Player voices will now be affected by audio effects such as the Sunny Meadows hallway reverb. This could be really hit or miss. I played Outlast Trials recently, which a lot of people say their voice communications are amazing. I absolutely hate them because the reverb hurts my brain so much. It's way too strong. It's just like my like ADHD brain just cannot handle that shit. So I had to just use Discord for that. But for this one, I hope that it won't be too strong. Like, it'll just be a slight reverb and not like this like echoey crazy effect. Added gamepad UI buttons control for the journal, voice recognition text, and the main menu screen. Okay, just for gamepad. Added a fade to the VR head collision. Oh, I see. If you bang your head into something, it would just go black completely, but now it's going to fade away instead of going black completely. When the game loads into a map or the main menu, it will now always be a smooth fade for VR and non-VR. Okay, sure. The ghost will now leave EMF when blowing out a candle. Nice. That's actually very useful. Several equipment items can now be turned on and off by pressing use when aiming at them while they are placed. Let's go. Finally, it's back. Several items can now be turned on. Yeah, so you used to be able to turn on like spirit box, EMF, etc. when it was on the ground, but then they took that away because people were using it to troll or something. Like when you were in a locker, you could turn on someone else's spirit box and then they would get killed, which seems like a very specific scenario that wasn't affecting really anyone except like a few idiots. So yeah, that's nice, at least, so we can do that again. Edit support for Quest Pro, edit support for the Vive Focus 3. All right, nice for if you have those. Changes. The in-game voice, this is also a lot, by the way. The in-game voice system has been replaced with Photon Voice. Okay. Wait, the voice recognition? Or no, the voice communication. Okay. I don't know, we're gonna find that out. Replaced and added several new sounds for equipment. Cool. Move the camera view for the head-mounted camera so it's easier to watch from other players' view. This could enable a like blind, like someone in the truck leads a blind person with a head cam on their head, because I've wanted to do that for a while, but it's almost impossible because the head cam is in such a weird position that you don't really see what the other player sees. So hopefully this will make that better. Crucifixes will now have an extra 50% range per tier against demons. Jesus, so it's literally double, because extra 50%, does that mean the 50%? I don't know. We'll have to see that in the... Well, we'll have to experiment, because you can't see that. Because right now, it's like 5 instead of 3. I don't know the exact numbers. I would have to look this up. I haven't thought about this for a while, because you just have the range indicator now, which is nice, but it's just going to be way more massive for demons. Incense will now have an extra 50% duration per tier against Moroi. Nice. Replace gamepad UI with a virtual on-screen cursor. You already set that. Rebake lighting in all locations, main menu, and training for... just better lighting, I guess. Increase the new lighting is now baked in as well. Increase the penalty for choosing a monkey paw in custom game. Finally, they are finally admitting. Fucking finally. I've been arguing for so long that the summoning circle sucks ass, and the monkey paw is like by far the best item in like the entire game. It can do so many things, and for some reason they're like the monkey paw is equal value to like the summoning circle, which makes no sense at all, because the monkey paw does like everything. So that's nice. They finally admitted it through their patch notes. I wish to see the ghost will no longer teleport the ghost in front of you. Instead, it will reveal it where the ghost is. That is really nice, because this was literally... it seems like they have just straight up, like... I'm sorry that I got the monkey paw nerfed, but it's just too strong, guys. We have to admit this. It was far too OP, and rather than, I guess, buffing the summoning circle, which I would have way rather seen, the summoning circle was in such a bad place right now, but whatever, I would have, this is fine too, in my opinion. I just thought the monkey paw is just far too strong, and this just, like, it allows you to, if you are smart and you know where the ghost is, like you use salt or something, this will just be fine still, right? I think that's just better. Because what you could do right now is just stand in front of a hiding spot. I wish to see the ghost, take a photo, go in the hiding spot, easiest game of your life, and you get the ghost photo for free. It's like 100 times better than the summoning circle in its current state, because the summoning circle, you have to like go into the basement and then run away. So it just made no sense. I think this is way better. Updated all equipment loadouts for weekly challenges to accommodate tiers. Some are harder, some are easier. So it's basically going to be all new challenges, I guess. Reduce the chance for a ghost to interact with a door as it was overpowering other interactions. Thank you, finally. Oh my god, the doors have been a menace for so long, where a ghost will just smash the door over and over and over again. That's really nice. But it is going to make fingerprints harder, but we have salt now as well, right? So it's not that big of a deal. Move the tarot card in the collection cabinet so you can see them all at once on all aspect ratios, okay? Candles found inside the contract can still be lit, but are no longer grabbable and do not provide any sanity-altering effects. Damn, huge nerf for the houses with candles, because I don't really use them for the sanity thing. I just use them to only have to take a lighter, then light one of the candles, place it in the ghost room to get the candle objective. But I guess now you're gonna have to use one of your own candles, or you're gonna have to be lucky that the ghost is in a room with a candle. But interesting. The take, that's kind of weird at the same time. Like, why can't you move it? But whatever. The take a ghost photo objective will no longer count for 0-star photos. That's so funny. I had no idea that was a thing. Light range has been reduced and will no longer cast shadows to save performance. Okay, wait, the light will no longer cast shadows? Isn't that like a very vital part of being a light? I will have to see that in practice. The fallen candelabras, or however you say that, will now start off and cannot be relit. Okay, on the, I'm assuming in Sunny Meadows. Improve the performance of the fountain in Sunny Meadows. Remove the distortion for VR parabolic microphone glass. Okay. Improve support for new HTC VR headsets. Replace Turkish font to make it more readable. Several candles in Sunny Meadows Chapel have been adjusted. Light range has been reduced and will no longer cast shadows to save performance. The fallen candelabras will now stay off. Okay. This is the shadow thing could be huge, but I'm assuming it's not that big of a deal. Oh my god, there's more. I'm sorry, guys. It never ends. It never ends. Fixes. Players should no longer reach the maximum light count, resulting in lights not casting any visible lights. Very nice. That was really annoying. The weekly timer will now display the minutes and seconds left when there are less than 24 hours left. Okay, I see. They will now have the correct interaction rate. Let me guess, it was way too low. I've had so many days that did absolutely nothing. It was infuriating. Finally, EMF interactions no longer cause incorrect collision with objects. Interesting. Players will no longer change their order between the lobby, truck, and journal. Fix the common crash when initializing VR. You can no longer repel the ghost for another player with unlimited range. No! This was such a funny trick. You could, like, save people from the truck. So, yeah, that's changing. I really feel like they need to fix the, like, if you smudge, it it lengthens the timer by another 6 seconds. Because now, if someone smudges somewhere and then the ghost runs to you, like, it's gonna be so weird I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. It would be more intuitive. But yeah, it's not that big of a nerf. It's just like a nice little thing that you used to be able to do, but it's no longer gonna be possible. They will no longer age when only a dead player is nearby. Interesting. They will now do fewer ghost events as it ages instead of more. How? Devs. Can we get some therapy going here? Can we go sit down a little bit? How has this been in the game for this long? How? Fucking hell, man. This is the fucking Goryo all over again. Check your minus signs. Don't put if you put 2 minus signs, it's gonna be a plus. This is basic maths, guys. Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway, whatever. It's fixed now, at least, but good god. Yokai will now... That makes so much sense. Holy shit, so many Thays do absolutely nothing. That is so silly. Alright, whatever. Yokai will now have increased hunt chance and activity for all... I can't get over this one. What the fuck? How is this... How do they keep making this, like, sign mistake? It's sorry, Debs. I don't mean to shit all over you, but that's very funny. Yoka will now have increased hunt chance and activity for all talking players instead of just the host. Okay, another bug. These are bugs, as obviously. Tanglewood basement audio will now change at the correct position. Englewood basement room bounds are now accurate, so you will no longer probably have a ghost hunt from the stairs as much as before. I hope so, because that was happening constantly. Mayor will no longer count keyboards and TV remotes as light sources. Why? Why? It's a light source. You turn on the keyboard, it turns on a light. You turn on the TV, it turns on a light. I know it doesn't count for the hunt, but it was such a neat little knowledge thing, and it would just make, like, mares are so annoying and no evidence, and this was just a nice thing. Because what you could do is you could take a TV remote, put it in the ghost room, and then if the ghost interacts with that TV remote, which I rarely did this, by the way, but you could, and then you would know it wasn't a mare. So that, I don't know. I don't like this change. I like the way it was, but whatever. The ghost can no longer get stuck at the back of the woodwind game stand. Sure. The Sunny Meadows camera icons will now show on the correct floor. The setup timer will now be set to 0 after using the Ouija board. Nice. The ghost mist event will now move towards you instead of above you. Oh my god. Another one where it's just like completely nonsensical, but okay. The monkey paw can now be grabbed while the Sunny Meadows chapel cross is on fire. Oh, that wasn't possible, lol. Items during contracts will no longer break if you are holding an item in the main menu before loading. Interesting. Numbers in player names will no longer be translated when using Arabic, or, sorry, I can't pronounce shit. Several items will no longer push you around when held when you are crouched. Very nice. This was really annoying. Fixed a head crash on on low-end hardware that caused quality settings to be set too early. Due to the new voice system, issues with desynced voice chat, voice delays, and poor audio quality are now significantly improved. The VR loading fade will now be completely black. You can no longer walk through the bushes in Willow. Okay. The ghost can no longer spawn, travel to unintended locations in high school. Nice. Mimics will now turn off their freezing breath if they change into a Hantu. Will now turn off. Oh, okay, I see. It never turned it off, I guess. Lighting the summoning circle will no longer turn on the lights in the room the ghost was previously in. What a weird thing, okay. Moonlight will no longer be visible. That doesn't matter at all, because the hunt afterwards is going to turn it off. How did anyone notice that? Interesting. Moonlight will no longer be visible in Sunny Meadows basement restricted wing. The photo camera can now be detected by the ghost during a hunt when a non-host is holding it. All right, well, there you go. Obviously, this is just, like, the cliff notes, basically, because all the different items are not explained at all. Like, they basically didn't say anything about all the 40 new items that we're gonna get. So we're gonna be doing a lot of exploring tomorrow when the update comes out, and I really hope to see you there. But yeah, this is the main gist of it. We have new progression, which I'm very excited for, all the new equipment, and a lot of changes. The reward system, you're going to be earning so much more money now. I really like the training. This is a welcome surprise, but no weird surprises like a new map, new ghosts, etc., which we didn't expect. But no, none of those surprises. We've gotten what we expected, and I'm very happy with that, and I cannot wait to play it tomorrow. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, I'll scroll through. I'll scroll from the top just in case. But once again, these can be subject to change, so they might not be completely accurate. But I'm just scrolling through it in case you want to pause it here and read any of them specifically. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And if you want to join us for the live streams, you gotta find us over at twitch.tv/insim. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.